Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning. How are we doing on a Friday,
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Are you? Well, you won't be pretty soon.
You won't be after
my
Sunday.
Cowboys get through with it. So we got all these unpredictable, crazy stories going on. We got AB, we got Baker Mayfield, we got Kawhi Leonard we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. All I know for sure in the world of sports is that my Dallas Cowboys will win one playoff game, and you will pay for it. Okay. That's all I know.
Okay, now keep that.
That's all you know.
I don't care who we play. You know what? You can. The Chiefs can come play us at home. We'll go opposite conference if they want to come play us.
I want that same energy a week from Monday.
Okay.
Not the Monday coming. A week from Monday.
I don't even care about Philadelphia. I don't care.
Oh, now you don't care about Philly. You're Jalen Hurts going to walk the dog on y'all.
Jalen Hurts. That's been an interesting story. Okay, we have a packed show. I can already tell from the energy over there. But we do need to at least get to the latest with AB to get us going here. Here it is. The Buccaneers have officially released Antonio Brown. And yesterday, Bruce Arians revealed more details about the sideline incident. Arians said that AB refused to go back into the game due to a lack of targets, which is something that Skip had told us was the case earlier this week. So, Shannon, what do you believe now?
I believe BA. And I kind of outlined a little bit of kind of like I felt like when I was listening to BA talk, I was like, was BA listening to me?
Oh, you were the one ahead of this.
No.
I see.
I was talking about just Skip.
I'm chopped liver over here. It's okay.
I was talking about the locker room situation. I was talking about how position coaches say there's a grouping that's supposed to go in the game. It was you that said that he and Brady was on the sideline, and it probably got a little. He was probably a little agitated about the targets that he was getting. Yep. Skip, I never said it. Even Monday, Skip, I said, I'm not doubting whether or not AB is hurt. I'm doubting whether or not that was what caused the outburst. He could still be hurt, Skip. But now, and I also believe, Skip, that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would have never released a statement had Antonio Brown not took the steps that he took.
Absolutely correct.
I believe they were going to be hushed. They were just ready to move on past it.
What did Bruce Arians say right after the game? He's no longer a Buccaneer. Next question, right? Well, he changed his approach yesterday, didn't he?
Well, Skip, I got no choice because you backed me into a corner because you're making it seem like I said you're no longer a Buccaneer because you wouldn't go into the game because you was injured.
Yep.
And you told me, and Skip, remember I said, hold on, Skip. Normally how it works is that the coach is paying attention. BA doesn't call the plays. Byron Leftwich does. But there's normally a tight end coach, receiver coach, or running back coach that's signaling in personnel. We want 11 personnel. 1 tight end, 3 wides. We want empty formation, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
Okay, there's a package in which AB, and BA said it, there was a package in which AB had been playing the whole game. Where is AB? Coach AB said he ain't going in. AB, get in the game. No, I ain't going in. I'm good. What do you mean? I ain't getting the ball. AB said, BA said, well, I'm good. I ain't getting the ball. I do believe BA said.
I do too.
Get the you-know-what.
I agree.
Knowing his...
I don't know about a throat slash, but he said he flung his arms like, go.
Get the you-know-what. Get the you-know-what out of here.
All right.
Skip, listen to his press conference and how matter-of-fact he is when he was addressing Tom Brady last year, and even once or 2 times this year.
Yep.
That's BA. I believe he said that. I believe AB became agitated in the locker room, and some of his teammates had to calm him down because of the targets. Because remember, Skip, now if you look at AB's history, Skip, this with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this year, he averages about 6 targets in the first half a game. He got 5. But last week, he got 9 targets, caught 6. So he's thinking, hold on, there's no Chris Godwin. Gronk's in the doghouse. He got 2 catches 1 week. He only got 2 targets last week.
Yep.
Mike Evans on a pitch count. Serial Grayson, Tyler Johnson. Man, your boy about to get about 12 of these things right now. Yep. I'm going to get this incentive money, and we going to be good. Well, Skip, if I don't get the targets, I don't get the catches, how can I get the money? That's why Jason Light, he's like, well, hold on. AB and his agent came to me last week saying, can you guarantee $2 million in incentives?
That's a new plot twist, right?
Whoa. No, we can't do. Maybe 100,000 we'd be willing to do that, but not 200,000.
Right.
So for me, Skip, I believe AB's ankle was bothering. I really do. But I don't believe that's what caused the outburst. I believe it was the lack of targets.
Yep.
And when he wasn't going to get the lack of targets, that means, Skip, I can't get the catches, which means I can't get the incentives, which means money was very important to Antonio Brown.
Well,
given his history of what transpired of how it ended in Pittsburgh, because of targets, he got upset with Ben. Week 2, go back and look it up against Baltimore. How he throwing water coolers on the sideline, and then Ben comes rewarded the next week, give him 19, and he has almost 300 yards receiving. So for me, Skip, I believe what B.A. said. I can't trust A.B. because I've seen a pattern of behavior. This is a pattern of his behavior. When things do not go A.B.'s way, Skip, he'll buck like this, like he did. And I said it, even if that was the case, he was injured and B.A. tried to put him back in the game, which I don't believe that was the case. Explain the exit. There was no explanation. B.A. was, like I said, I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was willing to just like, you know what? It is what it is. Move on. But once you try to turn us into liars, say the reason why you did what you did, he got upset because I wouldn't go in the game because I was injured. I don't believe that. Given and Antonio Brown has lost the benefit of the doubt, Skip. And now he's supposed to have a podcast. I heard Ryan Clark said he has AB's talking on the podcast where he says Brady's the general manager and Brady and BA only likes me because I play. Now, after all Brady did for you, Skip, Brady done stuck his neck.
He did.
He just chopped it off.
He chopped it off. Okay, just to reiterate, Monday morning, right out of the box, I told you that I'd spoken to a source who knows AB, who had communicated with AB on Sunday evening, who said that, yes, his ankle was an issue, an ongoing issue, but that wasn't the issue. The issue was he actually clashed for the first time with the quarterback, with the GOAT, with Tom Brady. And the line that I heard was, oh, so Gronk's now your boy again. We'd gone over. Gronk had sort of fallen into Brady's doghouse after the 11-target game in the disaster against New Orleans, in which he got 2 for 12. At Carolina, he fell completely out of favor and got 2 targets total, and I thought he dropped one of them or couldn't find the ball in the sun or something in the back of the end zone.
That is correct.
And meanwhile, as you had pointed out before, they recreated the monster because not only did they welcome AB back with open arms after his 3-game suspension for having a fake vaccination card, which is a felony offense. But Tom had force-fed him the ball in his first game back at Carolina to the tune of 15 targets. As Gronk got 2, AB got 15 and caught 10 for 101. And by the way, I would just like to point out that in that game at Carolina, AB played a season-high 53 snaps, and he played all the way to the end of a 32-6 game. Tampa won 32-6, and he caught his last ball with 4:38 left in the fourth quarter, a 10-yard completion. So my point to you is the ankle wasn't any huge problem. It's not like he asked out of the Carolina game. He played to the bitter end of a 32-6 game. He played every snap down the stretch to the close of the game.
He did.
So what am I supposed to make of how bad was the ankle? Well, it was some issue because AB posted the text conversation, but it was just, you said yesterday, everybody has these issues. You were plagued by ankle injuries your whole career. So would you communicate with Mike Shanahan?
No.
But would he ask you at some point, are you okay? Or
he would come by and, well, how you feeling, 84, so forth and so on.
Can you go?
Can you go? But Skip, once the game starts, the communication is between the athletic trainer and the head coach.
So, again, BA completely changed his approach yesterday because he just came out swinging on AB, and he tried to deal with every last accusation. And his point was that not at any point during the game did he bring up his ankle to any of the trainers or medical personnel on the sideline. And Bruce kept saying the protocol would be you have to at least make them aware I'm having a problem. And if they're made aware, then the head coach is made aware.
They'll make him aware.
Okay? So he called for, or it'd be Byron Leftwich, called for the personnel group. As you said, it's whatever the number of the group is, whatever he's in.
11 personnel, maybe it's Tiger, double tighted, whatever the case may be. But it was a package that required AB on the field.
Yes. They called for it, and he sat on the bench. and his position coach went over to him, and he, according to Bruce, he turned and looked, and he waved his position coach away. Uh-oh, here we go.
Right.
And then Bruce said, then I marched right back over there. Well, okay, if let's just say, for sake of argument, let's say that would have been Mike Evans, or when he was healthy, Chris Godwin.
Right.
And they were having some issue about I'm not getting enough targets, which every wide receiver's had, or every tight end has had at some point in his career.
Right.
You had a constantly, but as you said, you just swallow it usually. But what if, let's do Mike Evans. He has a very clean track record with them. What if he had been pouty a little bit on the bench? You're not throwing me any targets. Well, would Bruce have gone over and said, get the F to the locker room? No, he would not. But we got history here.
Right.
We got a Bruce Arians who did not want AB in the first place.
Right. But
he said he's not a fit in our locker room, right?
Skip, think about this. Mike Evans had gone to the Pro Bowl 3 straight years before Brady got there. His numbers have come down dramatically.
He's had to swallow a lot of pride.
Yeah. And he doesn't say a word.
Okay. And by the way, to your point, when AB joined the Buccaneers last year after serving an 8-game suspension for conduct detrimental, all of the above.
Right.
When he first joined them and played the last 8 games last year, would you believe he wound up over those 8 second in targets to one Mike Evans, which obviously decreased Mike Evans' visibility in the offense, right? 8 targets, and he led them in receiving yards over the last 8 games, did Antonio Brown.
Right.
What would that do to 2 Pro Bowl receivers and the GOAT tight end and any number of other possibilities, Scotty Millers and Tyler Johnsons? AB pretty much, thanks to Tom Brady, just took the receiving core over. Am I right?
And got his incentives because Brady first fed him the ball.
Okay, so you want to talk about an angel, like to save him from an 8-game suspension and then make him the focal point of the passing game?
Right.
And then obviously he had issues in the playoffs and missed I can't remember. I didn't even check on this. Did he miss New Orleans? I can't remember, but he missed Green Bay.
I think he missed New Orleans and Green Bay.
You're right.
Because he played the Washington game and he got nicked in that game.
Okay, so he was made to realize, oh, they can win without me on the road at Drew Brees and at Aaron Rodgers.
Correct.
Oh, okay, well, I better stay on my best behavior because I'm not the savior here. I'm not the godsend.
Right.
They're fine without me.
They didn't need him.
They didn't need him. And in the Super Bowl, he got a few targets and he made one little catch in the end zone that was a touchdown.
Right.
It was great. And I think he got his ring.
Right.
Didn't have one. He got a ring. Or wait, he was on that Super Bowl team. Was he on the first one? I don't think he was.
They lost to Green Bay.
They lost. Okay. But he got to play in a Super Bowl.
Right.
But he finally got a ring thanks to Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Okay. So then we come into this year, and he starts off hot. And I told you that Miami game, and Miami's defense was...
He did a number on your
good.
Cowboys, too.
Well, he did. Well, in the opener, he did. No, he did. He did a number. He was the featured receiver against my Dallas Cowboys. And then for reasons I don't know, because what gets me about this, I never saw him hobbled.
Right.
I never saw him limp. I never saw him stay down after a play where the medical team had to rush onto the field and say, are you okay? And get up a little limpy. I don't know where all this came from, but clearly he was plagued to some degree by this ankle.
Right.
But Bruce Arians is saying our medical staff cleared him.
Right.
All I know is what I know. They told me it was okay to go. And he said he came to the Saturday walkthrough and he was good to go. Okay.
And BA said the grouping that we were called for, he had played the entire game. So it wasn't like all of a sudden we're asking him to play in a grouping that he was unfamiliar with. He had played in that grouping, and he didn't mention anything about the ankle being injured. And I don't believe he reacted the way he did by throwing those gloves in the stands and throwing the shoulder pads and doing all the things he did because BA would try to put him in the game against his will. I don't believe that. I believe this going by his history, Skip, his behavioral history, when things are not going his way on the sidelines, this lines up with what BA is saying. I'm sorry. AB has lost the benefit of the doubt. He just has.
Yeah, and according to Bruce Arians, the response, as you noted, but exactly the way he said it, he said that AB told him, this is BA's side of the AB story, okay? I ain't playing. And Arians says, what's going on? And the key line is, I ain't getting the ball. So the Buccaneers are standing by their story. It was simply about targets, period, end of story.
Right.
They don't want to hear anything about the ankle. And according to Jason Light, they tried repeatedly to set up appointments in New York because they knew he had stayed in New York with an independent orthopedic surgeon that, again, they had chosen somebody they have some relationship with as a team, but they needed the ankle to be looked at by somebody who could give them a report on just how bad the ankle was. So they could have put him on injured reserve. Right?
Yeah.
They could have put him on any kind of reserve list and continued to pay him.
Right.
Correct?
Yes.
So they took all the way until yesterday without cutting him to try, I think, to help him get his money at least to finish out the year.
He'll get another game check.
Yep. And yet you could argue they're trying to keep him away from another playoff contender. Who knows? But
he can't because he says he's hurt. So that there would go his settlement. There would go his grievance. How can you be hurt, but you can go join another team and play when you said the reason why he cut you is because you didn't want to play injured. Okay. So his settlement would be gone, so he couldn't go anywhere.
Okay, and we're going to go into depth about this, but other teams, playoff teams, have a chance to claim him up to 4 p.m. Eastern time today, off the waiver wire.
Right.
So we will see, because to your point, if a team claims him and he says, yeah, I'll go, well, that sort of blows up your story, right?
Thank you.
Okay. But if he could go, it would only cost the team $61,000.
Right, which is his last game check.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, Skip, the fake vaccine card cost him 3 game checks because he got suspended. He didn't get paid for that. He goes to Jason Light, he and his representative says, I need you guys to guarantee, because if I'm going to go play on this injured ankle, I need you to guarantee me that I'm going to get this incentive money, even no matter what. So now, Skip, I can get the money if Tom feeds me the ball. Skip, now mind you, he still had a half of that game and still had another game to play in which he had just gotten 15 targets, caught 10 passes for over 100 yards against this very team 2 weeks ago. But he panicked. And so now all of a sudden we're here. It's almost they're looking at it like, well, hold on, bro. Why would I? Skip, now I've seen guys, I've been far enough, I've seen guys take advance this year on some of next year's money. So is AB hurting for money? Wanting $2 million guaranteed for incentives? I've never heard of a team doing that.
Yep.
I've seen guys skip myths, say like have $100,000 and they're a catch short or they're a tackle short. They give them that, but not $2 million.
And to your point, Jason Light volunteered yesterday to ESPN. They came to us a week ago after the 15 target, 10 catch game and said, would you please guarantee all of our incentives? He wasn't going to make the $2 million. He could have made half of it.
Right.
But $2 million would have required 28 more catches, 255 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. Okay, well, that's not realistic.
Right. Correct.
Right?
Right.
The rest of it was, the $1 million was highly.
Right. He could have got the $1 million.
Yeah.
But you did that to yourself because you got suspended. What happens if you don't get suspended, Skip? Now, those are 3 games. Now, it's easy to get that money. You cost yourself.
Yep.
Now, what I don't get, Skip, you didn't want to take the vaccine, but you took the needle in your ankle. Now, you said, what? So what was it? Do you know what was in that pain-killing injection? I took a very
the agent statement said it's highly dangerous.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So why'd you take it? Interesting. Because you wanted to get out there on the field and get the money. Skip, I've never said, Abe, I've dealt with ankle injuries. So I feel very good in talking about this subject.
Yep.
I said it, Skip, a lot of times, man, Skip, my ankle didn't bother me nearly as bad when John was giving me 7, 8, and I done took those shots. But I'm out here, I got 1 catch, and here we are in the 4th quarter. And I'm thinking to myself, man, what the hell I'm doing out here? Y'all told me y'all gonna give me the ball. And here we are with 7 minutes left in the ball game. I got 1 catch. I got 2 catches. Man, I could have rested this ankle and got healthy for next week.
Yep.
That's what AB was thinking. AB like, y'all got me out here running around and y'all only fed me like 5 targets.
Yep.
Man, I could have stayed. I can't get my money now.
Yep. Okay, which brings us to the trickiest, most complex, most difficult to decipher issue of all. AB's agent told ESPN yesterday that he is now accusing the Buccaneers of mischaracterizing the outburst on the field as a, quote, mental health issue rather than his refusal to play due to pain.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have a Rodney Harrison saying that he believes that he's suffering from CTE already. Rodney harks back to the
Vontaze
Burfict hit in the playoff game, Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh, and it was a hellacious hit.
Right.
And it was outrageously out of bounds, as we know.
Right.
Bruce Arians stood by his guns yesterday and continued to say, I'm hurt, but I still wish the best for him. I just hope he gets the help that he needs.
Right.
Okay, well, then he went right back to mental health.
Right.
Brady has indicated mental health.
Right.
Agent is saying nothing to do with mental health. So it's impossible for us to know what it is, but a lot of people are giving him a pass for mental health when maybe he doesn't even deserve that.
No.
The agent's saying we don't want that.
No, a lot of people are giving him a pass because he's black. Let's be all the way real, because I see my timeline, and they share it. And see, here's the problem. None of the black Buccaneer players can come out and say what BA said is true, because then they're going to get labeled Uncle Tom. They're going to get called a coon, because now, oh, you stick it up, you a slave to the white man. That's what's going to happen. That's what I'm getting, but I don't care. I'm just going by what I'm just telling you, having played 14 years in the league, knowing his history, I believe I don't know, Skip, I don't know really either one of the guys. Yeah, we had AB on the show one time. That's the only time I've ever met Antonio Brown in my life. I've never met BA. I'm just going by his history, AB's history, what I saw Sunday, what I've seen from BA and talking to people that have played under BA and been around BA. I believe it. I believe Antonio Brown reacted the way he did, not because his ankle was injured, but because he wasn't going to get the targets that he needed to get the incentives that he needed.
Yep.
And it's your own fault, because you got to ask yourself this. How can a man that averaged 114 catches, 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns over 6 seasons, why is he playing for an incentive-based contract anyway? That's the question you have to ask yourself. How did he put himself in that situation? Remember, Skip, he had $30 million on the table at the Oakland Raiders.
He did.
What dumb you know, Skip, would turn down $30 million in order to play for incentives? Now, I want somebody out there to tell me that on your job, they say, you know what? We got a job for you. We want to pay you $1 million. And you say, nah, I just want to work on an hourly wage. Where they do that at? Because that's what AB did.
He did.
AB turned down $30 million by acting like a jackass. He couldn't even get Skip. All you got to do is be on the roster come Tuesday. And you get the money guarantee because he's a vested player.
That is
he
correct.
couldn't even do that.
He could not.
And now he playing on incentives.
Yep.
And now he mad because he's not going to be able to reach the incentives because of something else he did, Skip. He got a fake vaccine card. And even though he went and got the vaccine, it was too late because you had already turned in the fake one.
Yep. I agree.
So that's my fault, Shannon. You reporting about it. Shannon, why you keep trying to blame the black man down? Why he keep putting himself in that situation? My job is to talk about sports, sports-related issues. Antonio Brown is a football player. Well, he was until Sunday, until the Bucs released him. So I don't get it. They've seen this guy's behavior over the last 3 years. And I told you, Skip, there's nothing different about Antonio Brown over the last 6 years. The only thing different is, Skip, we got to see how he be acting behind the scenes.
That is
you
true.
saw it publicly.
Well, to your point, Arians said yesterday he was so agitated at halftime was AB over a lack of targets that several of the veteran players tried to calm him down. And then when a reporter cross-examined and said, yeah, but AB's just saying it's the ankle only. That's the sole detonation.
So why you got...
And he chuckled, Arians chuckled and said, the players know the truth.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. But, hey, guys, keep it quiet.
Yeah.
Y'all don't got to suffer. We know. Everybody knows. But I don't want you to have to go through what some of us, myself, the Ryan Clarks, and a lot of these other guys that's talking about this get labeled as that. See, I'm good with it. My record speaks for itself. See, nobody say I have a problem when I criticize Aaron Rodgers and his behavior, or I say things about Tom Brady or Dak Prescott or Baker Mayfield. But lo and behold, somebody with a track record as long as Michael Jackson had hits.
That is true.
Oh, now you say that about AB. Nah, that's AB. Tell AB to behave, to act accordingly. He's not different. He don't get any preferential treatment. But somehow he thinks he should. oh, Tom Brady's the general manager. They just like me because I can play football. Duh. Welcome to all the world.
Yeah.
What you think? Somebody get a job because
more and more bizarre every single day. And a playoff team, I guess, at this point could claim him. We're going to get to that later in the show if it's actually a possibility. Guys, I want your thoughts there.
No mercy.
Well, despite being done for this season, Baker Mayfield's situation in Cleveland is taking some turns. Baker Mayfield shot down reports that he is having friction with his head coach and might request a trade by taking to social media to call the whole thing, quote, clickbait. So, Shannon, how will this play out, the situation?
Well, I think the Browns are trying to beat Baker Mayfield to the punch. Skip, I don't know Mary Kay Cabot. Hell, I don't even know Mary Kay Ash, who's the cosmetic heiress. I just know if you sell enough product.
I'd be surprised if you did.
I just know if you sell enough product, you get a pink Cadillac.
That is correct.
So I don't know. But I know one thing.
I know of Mary Kay Cabot because she does an excellent job and has for years.
She's the queen.
Yep.
In Cleveland, when it comes to this media thing, journalism, she's it.
Connected.
She's it.
Plugged in.
She ain't just doing no clickbait. She ain't doing no clickbait.
No.
And I keep telling people, when you hear these reporters and you hear these Adam Schefters and these Jay Glazers, they getting that, you know, they getting that from real close in our organization. He told somebody that. He told somebody that organization. Now, Skip Bayless told me last year, 11 games, he was the fourth highest rated quarterback. 20 touchdowns, 3 picks.
You know it by heart.
Yeah,
I love that.
I know it.
I love it. You recite.
Skip Bayless, and I ain't hear nothing about Baker Mayfield talking about no issues need to be worked out. What nothing going on with no problem whatsoever.
Nope.
I'm just trying to figure out how can
was
a guy.
Kevin Stefanski the coach last? Oh yeah, he was.
He was.
Go ahead.
And it wasn't no issue with Stefanski. You got, first of all, you got 2 running backs. You got the best running back tandem in all of football. Again, Nick Chubb.
Green Bay, but go ahead.
Chubb Rock in the Pro Bowl again.
Yep.
Offensive line, yeah, they were injured, but they still got a top 3, top 4 offensive line in all of football. All those weapons. And now you need to talk to the coach about something. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, Skip, what I think is going to happen, because I don't know anybody in Cleveland. I think they're going to exhaust every possible avenue and try to look for a quarterback. I really do. I think they're going to put feelers out there. Hey, Aaron Rodgers, what's up? You want to come on? Cleveland can't be worse than Green Bay, Wisconsin. Russ, I know Seattle. You got a wife that's in the entertainment business.
No.
Vegas will be ideal. New York. Russ, I ain't got enough for you. There are several others, Skip. Any quarterback that they feel that's an upgrade over Baker, Deshaun gets his situation resolved, they're going to try to move on. I think Baker's trying to beat them to the punch.
I do too.
And Skip, I just deep down inside of me, I think the Cleveland Browns brass, from the owner down to Stefanski, has come to the conclusion Baker can't get us where we need to be. And you said someone close, say the locker room is kind of turned on Baker.
It has.
Well, it's time to go there. It's hard to win that back over, Skip. When the guys are not locker, because at the end of the day, that's all you got. The guys got to believe in you, Skip.
Yep.
You're supposed to be the general. The guys got to be willing to follow you, want to follow you, and believe that you're going to lead them in a way that's going to be conducive to winning. If they don't believe that, you have nothing. And the coach, I don't care how much the coach, I don't care how much the organization, the general manager, the owner, if the guys don't believe in the guy that's leading them, you waste your time, Skip. Just go ahead and let it go. But this, Skip, I told you that we're coming to this. He was bad this year, Skip. We can dress up his injuries all we want to, but Baker's been bad.
Game 2 this year, he tore up his shoulder so badly that the laburn's torn and needs immediate surgery and should have been done at that moment because he also fractured that shoulder. So I'm sorry, I'm giving him a big injury pass this year. And it went from bad to worse, and I cannot defend what started happening. But the point was, here's what shocked me about this latest from Mary Kay Cabot. Jake Trotter, I pointed out the other day, posted a piece on ESPN.com. He covers for ESPN and covers the Browns. Also does an excellent job, top rated. And Jake's piece posted last Monday ahead of the Monday night game. And in it, he also suggested that Baker might beat them to the punch by demanding a trade instead of them trading him. But that was based more on the locker room issues that Baker has acknowledged during the year. He did a couple sit-down interviews in which he said, yeah, we have some issues in our locker room. Yeah. He didn't go into specifics. But I told you, I have a very good source there who told me that several of the black players, the better black, let's call them the black leaders on the team, had turned on Baker because they love Odell. And it wasn't that they blamed Baker for Odell's demise, the way Odell's father did with the video he posted. They just blamed Baker for Odell's departure. You know, like, we lost him because of you? Is that because in the end it came across like, well, you couldn't click with him, so he had to go, and now he's a Ram. And we loved him. And they're in awe of his talent, obviously. It didn't reach fruition with Baker for whatever reason. They had some moments, but not enough. And so I thought that any trade that Baker would demand would be about that locker room, which just became a snake pit for him. Not a happy place. Not a winning place for a quarterback if you're the franchise quarterback and the number one overall pick and you've sort of lost, let's say, even half the locker room. You got no shot, man. No. In the long term, you just don't, because you're going to lose close games because we're not all in this together. You'll have your moments, but you won't be able to go places like you said. You can't then rise above that. You can't overcome that. So I was thinking Baker would want out, not because of anything with Stefanski. I hadn't heard a word about that. So that not only surprised me, but I will be the first to admit, as a Baker defender, that disappointed me, because if that's true, if they're clashing, then I need to know more about it. Is it a one-way street or a two-way street? Is Stefanski just having problems with Baker? That would be predictable because they were struggling, right? And it made Stefanski, as the play caller, look bad. Or is it a two-way street where Baker truly doesn't like the plays that are being called and even goes to the point of thinking, I'm being sabotaged here because he's doing me in with the play calls, right? Okay, so obviously Stefanski did not pick Baker Mayfield. And you know and I know, any situation you try to
it was an arranged marriage.
Yeah, it's arranged because they almost never work because he wasn't Stefanski's choice, and he's probably not Stefanski's cup of Gatorade, you know? Because what's the greatest thing that ever happened to Patrick Mahomes? Not that he isn't wildly talented, but Andy Reid is the greatest thing. He handpicked him. He traded up and snatched him. And it's actually Andy's greatest claim to fame as a personnel director of his team, even though they have Brett Veach. I get that. But Andy's, he's got big input into this.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can't tell me that it was Andy who said, I got to have that kid. He's checking the tape.
Brett Veach could have won him all he wanted to. If Andy Reid says no, they can pick him somebody else.
All right. So not only did Andy handpick him, but Andy's still there. They're going forward. They're onward and upward. They're the one seed. You know, they're still rolling, right? And they're going to roll for the next, 10, 12 years, 15 years. It's a beautiful situation that money can't buy it. Look at Baker. You can argue you could say large part his fault or partly his fault, but he had 4 different head coaches and 4 different offensive coordinators in his first 4 years. And now he's on Stefanski, who did not pick him. Well, it's a sorry situation. So I stand by what I said. I still believe in him. I believe in what I saw his rookie year. I believe in those 11 games last year. They won their playoff game at Pittsburgh, same place you saw him stink it up, along with Ben the other night. He badly outplayed or dramatically outplayed Ben in the playoff game, and they won 48-37, and nobody was talking about any problems, right? Okay. I still believe in what I've seen. The body of work still, to me, says franchise quarterback. So I stand by what I said. I dare the Cleveland Browns to trade him or get rid of him, however they want to get rid of him. Cut him loose, whatever you have to do. Obviously, they're on the hook for $19 million. Yep, $19 million. It's not the end of the world kind of money, but it's a significant chunk of your cap. But could you trade him? Would somebody else jump on the opportunity? I say yes.
What would you trade him for? Because you look at Sam Darnold went for a second, fourth, and a sixth. The Eagles traded Carson Wentz for a third rounder and a second rounder that turned into a first this year.
Okay. In both those cases, you're basically saying, would you please take him off our hands? Right. Okay. So I believe in him, and I believe other people believe in him enough who had him highly ranked.
Yeah, let's give that traded for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold got a second, fourth, and a sixth. Well, Carson Wentz basically going to go for a first and third, and you believe that Carson Wentz was, he was done in Philly, he was done psychologically, mentally, emotionally. So, yeah, of course. He's going to only be 5 years removed from being the number 1 overall pick. Okay. So absolutely somebody will give him an opportunity. And maybe that's the right thing. Maybe his home isn't in Cleveland.
It's not. I've said that from the start over the last back half of the year.
Yeah.
Get him out of there.
Yeah.
Clear the decks, clear the air, change the scenery, let him start over. You start fresh with somebody else. It didn't work.
Right.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let him walk.
Okay, what we going to get? I'm going to let it, okay, I'm going to let you and your agent go shop yourself.
Huh?
Go shop yourself.
I know, but for you take a bag of rocks for Baker Mayfield, right?
It's the holidays. I mean, a half-eaten fruitcake. Maybe some eggnog. It's a little spoiled now. But I don't need much.
Yeah, half-eaten fruitcake has been left out, and it's hard as a rock, right?
Sometimes
that's what you get back.
Sometimes you just want somebody to just take it off your hand because you don't want to have to move it.
Okay.
There are a lot of people that have, we used to call them rummage sales or garage sales. Now they call them estate sales. But people go rummage and Skip. That was stuff that people didn't want. So they want somebody else to come and move it off their hand. Oh, I give you $3. I give you $5, $10 for that. What you give me for Baker? I don't want to have to do no lifting and go call people and see it would take them. Go out there and shop yourself. Maybe somebody will take you off our hands.
I hope so.
Like a rummage sale.
I hope so, because Baker Mayfield will come back to haunt the Browns and Shannon Sharpe and all those Odell lovers and Baker haters out there. He will make you look foolish if he gets a chance to start with somebody who actually wants him.
Nah, he haunted us for 4 years while he was there. I couldn't, Steph Stefanski and Hugh Jackson, they couldn't sleep at night, knowing they had him. House of horror, scary.
He haunted him so badly last year that they went 8-3 down the stretch and won a playoff game for the first time since 1994.
Told you, front runner. You see, you now look at it. Now he went 8-3. They mentioned about Stefanski. Wow. He started losing and now he bounced. You see what he did in Georgia when they were beating Georgia in the championship game? He coming down the sideline helicoptering. And then all of a sudden.
Well, it only went 2 overtimes.
I don't know what it went. I know he went home and he didn't go to the championship game. That's what we know how it went. So in other words, he a front runner like I've been telling you. Now, I've been trying to tell you for the better part of 4 years.
Defense loaded with NFL-bound talent.
Hold on.
Roquan Smith, remember?
He the Heisman Trophy winner.
What was the score? 54 to something. What did OU score? I can't remember. 54 to 48, maybe?
And y'all had him by like 14. You got to be able to hold it as the Heisman Trophy winner.
Boy, Baker was lighting up that Georgia defense, right?
No.
Heisman Trophy,
I couldn't tell.
First pick in the draft, as I predicted right here.
Come on.
Interesting. And then put up a rookie year that Pro Football Focus ranked the
third
best in the last 15 years.
You don't even believe that.
I do believe it. With 40 big-time throws as a rookie?
50 big-time throws, huh?
40.
Guys, we're going to move on because I want to
We should have had some of those to Odell.
Here, Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy have not hid the Cowboys' game plan tomorrow against the Eagles, saying starters are a full go. Dallas could still slide up a few spots in seeding, but top spot is already clinched by Green Bay. We know that by now. So, Shannon, should the Cowboys play their starters tomorrow? Would you?
Yep. I'm playing you to the half. I'm letting you know, hey, you're playing to the half.
Okay.
So get your minds ready to go play to the half. Okay, back up, be ready to take it home from there. Skip, I cannot go into the playoffs as an offense seeing how my team has played the last 7, 8, I think last 9 weeks. They're 5-9 in their last 9 games. So, Skip, I can't go into the playoffs like that, and especially off of the performance that they had against Arizona. Skip, I don't want to go into the playoffs like that. Dak, CD, Amari. Now, Amari knows he's unvaccinated. Now, he knows if he goes to a public event, he's supposed to be up in a suite. Where was he at, Skip? Where was he at without a mask? And you wonder why the Cowboys. That's why you don't win. Your guys ain't trying to win. Because if they're trying to win, they would do things that was conducive for winning, which is like adhere to the protocol rules. If you're unvaccinated, you go to a sporting event, you're supposed to be in a suite. That's what you're supposed to do. But is that what you guys did? I mean, I saw guys sitting along the sideline. Now, some of them was vaccinated. But we know one guy, he's already missed time. But we'll talk about that another day, Skip. I'm playing them. I'm playing you because you know why? You need some continuity. You need some repetition. I need something good. I need something positive going into the playoffs, knowing that I hadn't had a whole lot of positive, Skip, over the last 9 weeks. I'm playing. Get your mind right. Starters, offense and defense, you're playing to the half. Backups, you're bringing it home.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to advise you that when it comes to Shannon Sharpe dispensing advice to my Dallas Cowboys, he is not to be trusted because he wants them to fall hard, fall on their faces. So when he advises the Cowboys, play your starters at Philadelphia, it's the biggest bunch of baloney I've ever heard.
Skip, you could get the 2 seed.
I don't trust you. I don't trust anything about you. You know and I know that falling out of heaven into their laps is a buy, a virtual buy. Right here, right now, play nobody. Hay is in the barn. You've done all you can do. You can't right any of the wrongs in one game at Philadelphia.
I tell you what, Skip Bayless, I'm going on record right now. If you do not play your starters on Saturday, you're going home in the first game.
Well, you're already on record as saying that.
I want to do it right now. I want 5 cases right now. If your starters don't play, I want 5 cases, regardless of who you play.
We already got 5 cases, one way or the other. So you're saying if my starters play, we're going to beat our first-round playoff opponent?
No.
Are you changing your team?
I want to go on record and guarantee if you don't, you're going to lose.
Well, that's just ridiculous because you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth at one time.
I'm trying to help you.
You're saying I'm damned if I do or don't.
Skip, I'm trying to help you. I want you to have some continuity.
You're not trying to help me.
Yes, I am.
They cost you 10 cases by winning the division. You're trying to get revenge.
I'm about to get 5 of them back.
Okay, I don't think you are. And I don't care what they do. They just shouldn't play their starters at Philadelphia. So Mike McCarthy, as usually, it just drives me nuts. So he just goes on and on. We're going to play. We're going to play to win the game. It could serve us well to go into the cold in Philadelphia in a playoff atmosphere. Yeah! Blah, 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 blah. He's trying to talk big and bad because I run this team. I don't care what happened in Hard Knocks when I look like a fool with my lame motivational speeches. I got control here. I'm in charge here. No, you're not.
What did Jerry say? What did Jerry say?
Jerry said, let's play to win.
Okay. Well, that's what they're going to do.
So it's not going to be that cold. It's going to be mid-20s. This is going to be a nighttime 8, 15,
15 ball game, yeah.
It's going to be mid-20s. It's going to be light wind. It's going to be no snow. So it's going to be a pretty good night for football. Right. So I don't know that the cold is going to somehow harden you for a big playoff test on the road in the cold.
Well, he's trying to say we prepared ourselves to possibly go to Green Bay, where you know it's going to be cold, where no matter what time you play in January, it's going to be cold.
Okay, I got it. What are the odds of them winning the number 1 seed? 2 things would have to happen.
Nothing. Green Bay's already clinched it.
I'm sorry. The number 2 seed. I'm sorry, the 2 seed. What are the odds? Okay. Dallas has to beat Philadelphia. The 49ers have to beat the Rams. But more important,
Carolina
has to beat Tampa Bay. Carolina has to beat Tampa Bay. I'm right here. I will bet you 50 cases that Tampa Bay wins that game. I want no parts of that. I'm sorry. I just don't think that's going to happen, Mike or Jerry. So we still got something to play for. No, you don't.
You do.
Okay, so COVID has struck again as it strikes everywhere. It struck Philly pretty hard because they got
early. Yeah. This
is earlier this week, and I don't know if any will be cleared by game time. But there's some speculation in Philadelphia that they might go total preseason game and just kind of play a few starters here or there, but not many. Because all of a sudden, they don't have Dallas Goedert, they don't have Fletcher Cox, they don't have Rodney McLeod. There are 4 or 5 of the stalwarts they don't have.
Correct.
So they might just throw in the towel and just say, we'll take a bye week too.
Right.
So what good would it do for you to go in there and try to reestablish continuity on offense against a bunch of backups?
Well, that's what you did against Washington, and you loved it. That's what you loved that against Washington. You didn't have no problem beating a bunch of backups, 56-14.
I don't think we beat a bunch of backups at Washington.
You did. No, I'm talking about in Dallas.
At Washington.
In Dallas.
They had won 4 straight games, and Tyler Heineke was on fire. He'd beaten the GOAT. He'd beaten Cam in his fairy tale return.
And they beat
He'd beaten Russell Wilson.
Hold on. And Washington had beat Carolina, who you just bet me 50 cases can't beat Tampa.
Okay, but remember, there once upon a time, it was the fairy tale return of Cam. First game back in Charlotte, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, and everybody's going crazy. I was going crazy. I thought it was going to be a great story, heartwarming, and it wasn't. Okay. So the point is, we have issues that can't be fixed tomorrow night at Philadelphia, and we just need rest. Okay, what's my biggest concern right now about my offense? It's in part my quarterback.
Okay.
But I keep telling you, there's something weird about him. If you look at his body of work in 3 playoff games, it is spectacular.
It's okay.
It's spectacular.
It's okay.
No, it's beyond
It ain't great.
okay. It is great. I will go all the way to great.
It ain't.
His last 5-6 games ain't.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't. Okay? So am I concerned? Somewhat. But Dak's best friend, as most quarterbacks, is the running game. What is Dak?
And how's your running game looking?
Okay, well, he's, what is he up to now? 0 for 6 this year when they don't run for 100 yards. Dak Prescott, 0 for 6. They did win one game in which they didn't run for 100 yards.
Minnesota.
It was Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great.
But your running back, trying to get 1,000.
Okay, here's my running game so far.
Yeah, what is it?
First 7 games, we rank second to the Cleveland Browns, you just mentioned, second in the league in rushing through 7 games. That's pretty good, I'd say. Last 9 games, we have plummeted to 27th in the league over those 9 games in rushing. 27th? From second to 27th?
What?
Zeke hit the wall. Okay?
You told me he was going to bounce back.
He bounced back for 7 games and was spectacular and actually had 3 games of over 100 yards.
Okay.
Okay.
So, if we take out the high, we take out the low, and we round it, y'all in the middle. So you're middle of the
he's at the bottom because his per game has plummeted for the 6th straight year to 57 yards a game. 57 a game? I thought last year 65 was bad.
So maybe you guys are a middle-of-the-road rushing team.
Okay.
Maybe you're not as good as number 2 the first 7 weeks. Maybe you're not as bad as 27, 28 the last 9 weeks.
I don't question Ezekiel Elliott's heart or his guts.
Yeah.
I just question his banged-up Earl Campbell-esque body.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And he's got a knee issue, and he's been wearing a big old bulky brace on it. I'm good with my brace. I want to get 1,000 yards. You want to get 1,000 yards in 17 games? That's pathetic. You're proud of that? You're better than being proud of that. Seriously.
No.
Come on. Stop it. But if you give him a week off, I don't want to see him take a snap at Philadelphia. Let him rest. Because whatever he's got to give you, if you give him 2 weeks to prep for it physically, just to heal up as best he can, just to freshen up as best he can, he will benefit greatly from a quote-unquote bye week.
So what about Dak? You gonna let Dak rest too?
Okay, yes, because I know he will be there for a playoff game. Well, just go look at the numbers. I dare anybody out there to call up the numbers and look what he did against Aaron Rodgers. Look what he did against Russell Wilson. And look what he did against the vaunted Rams Aaron Donald defense. Go look what he did. He lost 2 out of 3. He beat Russell Wilson. He outplayed him. I'm not going to say he outplayed Aaron Rodgers, but he threw for 305 yards and 3 touchdowns.
The man was down 21-3.
He was down 21-3 and brought him all the way back to 31 all.
How do you get
that not great?
How do you get down?
I don't care. He brought him back.
But see, that's his MO.
Okay, but it took 2 intergalactic hand of God field goals from Mason Crossbar to save the day for Aaron Rodgers. It did.
No.
It took Jared Cook getting wide open against a prevent defense on 3rd and forever.
Okay.
Right?
So your head up. You know that you should play to get some continuity, but you're afraid of what might happen.
It's a preseason game.
It is not a preseason game.
I think Philly's going to play it like a preseason game. And so what?
They ain't got no choice.
Mike's going to play he's going to play his starters all the way home. He's going to play them for 4 quarters.
First of all,
we need continuity. We need rhythm and momentum. Baloney. It's going to be fool's gold if you do.
Philly is having to play their backups not out of choice, but out of necessity because they have so many guys in protocol.
Okay. Speaking of protocol, Ty Smith is in protocol. I don't know if he has COVID. He probably does. I don't know. But Ty Smith is the left tackle.
Yes.
And Terrence Steele has been a pretty good
He's played well for you this year.
Yes. Terrence Steele is in his 2nd year in the NFL, undrafted out of Texas Tech. You like that?
I like that because he's going to make him some money.
Okay. Ty Nsekhe, sometimes he fills in there at left tackle. He's undrafted out of Texas State once upon a time and has bounced around the league to, I think this is 5th team. Okay, Tyron Smith is a first ballot Hall of Famer, I'm pretty sure. Do I want Dak going out there with one of the backups at left
Terrence
tackle?
Steele has done a great job when Ty Smith has been out at left tackle, and you know it.
I can't go to great job.
He's done.
Okay, I just don't trust it. I'm sorry. And what continuity is that going to bring to the offense?
Let's go.
And we know what happens to Amari on the road. It's too cold. It's just he doesn't want to play. Okay? What continuity?
It's football. Things happen.
Yeah.
Rodgers is going to play. Devontae and them going to play.
Are they really?
Yeah.
They say they are.
They going to play.
Yeah,
they're going to play. They're going to play at least a series. Aaron Rodgers going to get
one series.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers going to get 23 yards to get that 4,000.
So if McCarthy plays it like a preseason game and Dak plays 2 series, where's that going to get you?
Hey,
nowhere.
Hey, let me tell you what it'll get you.
Tired.
No, if you go down there and you get your 2 touchdowns on them 2 drives, you're like, okay, we back.
We're back?
We back.
And then you're going to pick Dallas to win the first playoff game?
No.
Thank you. Okay, well, so what is all this about? It's stupid, meaningless, ridiculous. It's this staff. It tries to flex and bow its neck and say, look how much smarter we are than anybody else. We got Micah Parsons, by the way, also with COVID, and our most valuable player, even beyond Dak Prescott. But it's like, we got Micah Parsons. Watch what we do with him. We'll start him at cornerback some games. We'll play him all over the field.
Make the defense, give the offense something to think about.
Yeah,
you never know where you're going to line up at.
We're smarter than you are. Mike's always trying to throw his chest out and say, we know more than anybody else. We have data. We have research. We use analytics.
Yeah.
What do the analytics tell you about rest?
Next week for me, it's all about the James Brown, the big payback.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Big payback.
I've told you, I got 5 cases on whomever the opponent is. I mean, I'll take Dallas against, I don't even care. Bring on anybody.
Anyone?
Hey, the big
Bring on the 85 Bears. You can send them back. Okay, I'll take the 85. We'll beat them. We'll beat the Steelers of the 70s.
Y'all beat at their age now.
That feels a little risky. Yes, the current age of that team. Just the visual of that, I actually really like.
No mercy.
Antonio Brown has been officially released by the Buccaneers and is available to be claimed off waivers today. Well, speculation has started about certain injury-hit teams like the Cowboys, who could be in the market for the receiver's services. It's just, would you want those services? So, Shannon, can you see a playoff team claiming him?
I can't. And why would someone want to bring somebody like this with this volatility in the most crucial moments of their season? And that's the playoffs, Skip. You dream of getting this team. This is what you practice for. All those training camp and all those meetings, those virtual meetings, and all the protocols thing that you had to adhere to was to get to this moment. And now you're here and you bring someone this volatile in. I don't see it happening, Skip. And if he's claiming that his ankle was not healthy to play Sunday and talking about having to get surgery, wouldn't that story falls apart if he goes somewhere else and play? So. I mean, we know he's not the, sharpest tool in the shed, but, you tweet out information and you got your bank account information on that. So, no, I don't see him playing. I don't see another team signing him. Why? Why would I risk that? Why would I risk bringing that into my locker room? Skip, if Tampa, with their locker room and that quarterback, wasn't enough, what quarterback team that's going to be in the playoff can deal with it? Aaron Rodgers couldn't deal with it. If Tom Brady can't, with all the credentials he has, that locker room with BA is, I don't know if there's any coach that's going to be in the playoff that's more player-friendly and centric than BA.
Unless you want to argue Andy Reid.
Okay, yeah, Andy.
Maybe somewhere in the same ballpark, yeah.
But they wouldn't be able to do anything with him, and then him coming in and learning the plays. There's no way. I said it before. I wouldn't have touched him. No. I don't see it happen. I don't see it happening, Skip. It's going to be a while. This is going to have to blow over. Now, I'm sure maybe next year some team will talk themselves into it.
You said that.
They'll get his side of the story. They'll believe him. Because we got so many people now, Skip, tying themselves in a knot, trying to condone his behavior. And what the man said, he throat slashed him. He said, yeah, I done said it too. Get what up out of here. You're not going to go in the game. Absolutely.
Speaking of Andy Reid, if there's any long shot chance that somebody claims him and actually tries to utilize him, it would be Andy Reid and the Chiefs. Do they have a need? Sure they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been trying Josh Gordon at that second, really, it's the second wide receiver slot, right? To no avail. And they've tried Mecole and Demarcus Robinson and Byron Pringle, and they all have their little moments, but they still don't have a co-star opposite Tyreek.
Correct. That's correct.
Could Antonio fill that void? Sure. But to your point, you have to do it on the fly.
Right.
Could you just throw him into the fire? Maybe. Maybe you could get a little bit out of him. You do have a quarterback who is decorated. He is a made man because he's an MVP and Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
And I don't think he would be bothered by having AB in his ear in the huddle during games, during playoff games. So is it a possibility that Andy Reid, who has a history of saying, watch what I can do here, right?
Yeah.
I brought in Josh Gordon, and we've done okay with him. He just hasn't contributed much. Okay, so is that a possibility? Because obviously, in the grand scheme of things, if you forget about all the misbehavior, you say, what if it becomes, as you predicted, Kansas City versus Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl? What do you got?
But let me tell you,
all of a sudden you'd have AB as the difference maker. He goes, it's almost Dion-esque.
right?
Right?
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
What happens when he realizes he's the difference maker? What does he do? Right on cue.
Right on cue. Okay. I'm just saying, would Andy maybe it would not shock me if the Chiefs claim Antonio Brown.
I would be shocked if anybody claimed it.
To your point, you want to talk about cutting off your nose to spite your face. You want to have to talk about eating crow. All your excuse about what happened in Tampa goes right out the window if you say, oh, it's a miracle. I'm actually okay. I can actually play. I don't need surgery. I'm going to tough it out with the Chiefs.
Right. But then, you have some people, hey, Shannon, haven't you been injured and didn't play in that game, didn't play the rest of the game, and then came back, played the following week? People rip themselves in the knot trying to excuse this behavior. But the problem is, Skip, is that you're bringing a guy in with his history on short notice. He knows, Skip, you bring a guy in, what's he thinking? You need me. What has he shown when he thinks you need him, what he will do? In Pittsburgh, in Oakland, in Tampa. The moment there was no, as B.A. was saying, he was a model citizen. I had a soft spot for him because he did everything we asked him to do last year. Because you had Chris Godwin, because you had Mike Evans, because you had Gronk, he wasn't needed. He was an accessory. Now, all of a sudden, Skip, I'm not an end table. I'm a couch in the room. Oh, you need me. I'm back up.
I got it. Okay, now this is just me. For me, the last straw, and the reason if I'm any of these playoff teams, there's no way I touch this, is because we had a certain Instagram model go public yesterday with the fact that, Antonio Brown invited her up to his hotel room this past Saturday night ahead of the Jets game. I think they were staying out in Jersey. Okay. And that's fine. She said she was there for an hour. But the other point that she made, and her story sounds reasonably credible to me, they had to sneak her in because we got COVID. We got COVID protocols.
You're not supposed to have visitors.
No visitors. So whatever he wants to do with any IG models, fine with me. That's his business.
Yeah, okay.
But this is the team's business that you violated COVID protocol. Now she said yesterday she has COVID. Well, okay. So you want to talk about a threat to your team unity?
Well, it serves you right. You said, Skip, it serves you right because when you got there, you said it was zero tolerance. And the moment he had the fake vaccine card and everything came to fruition, you should have parted ways. You didn't. So it serves you right. When people have Shannon, you gonna talk about it? I don't care nothing about that model. I don't know who she is. I don't know nothing. TikTok, flip-flops. I don't care.
I got it.
All I'm talking about is what his behavior was, Skip. And I'm not touching him.
Okay, this is COVID protocol, and I promise you this. I'm here to predict COVID will determine the outcome of these playoffs.
Oh, yes.
It's going to determine the team that can stay away, can stay together and apart and avoid COVID the most will be the team that prevails.
Right.
Because it is rampant, as we know. Philly just got decimated. Dallas has 3. You better be careful because if it starts to rear its ugly head for you before a playoff game, you're going to get wiped out.
And that's the thing, Skip, is that there's never a good time to get COVID, but it seems that the teams that had it the most early are in better position to deal with it. Because, man, you mess around an AFC, NFC championship game or a Super Bowl and the Tuesday, the Wednesday before, Skip, granted, now they've shortened it. You only got 5 days, Skip. You don't got the 7, you don't have the 10 days. They've shortened it if you're asymptomatic. But you mess around and get them symptoms and you get that thing on a Wednesday before the Super Bowl.
It's got potential.
Especially you one of the big time players, you know. Man, Lord, I pray that don't happen to somebody.
Okay, so here's an AB who blatantly violated the protocol. at the team hotel.
He violated everything.
Threatened his team. And now he's on the open market. You could claim him, or if nobody claims him, you could then see what happened and sign him if you wanted to for $61,000. It's just way more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to ask, well, what about your Cowboys? They have a glaring need because no Michael Gallup. There is no way I want to inflict Antonio Brown on Dak Prescott right now. He's having enough trouble finding the open receiver. He's just got too much going on in his head right now, let alone to push this on him where, you know how Brady could handle it because, I hear you. I hear you. You know, like in the huddle, I'm open. I'm open. I don't think Dak could handle it. Dak's not a made man, and we need Dak's head to be clear of Antonio Brown because, you know, our little man Cedric Wilson, he's pretty good.
Yeah, Cedric Wilson is more than capable of doing. Like I said, Skip, he's mainly the slot. So now you force Amari and CD more outside of the numbers when those guys are very good slot players. But there's no question in my mind that Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown can do the job. It's not them. If your quarterback plays well, it's fine. The receiver's going to be he'll fight. He just needs to find the guy that has his colors jersey on and not throw it to the other team or not put it on the ground for the other team to scoop it up.
And by the way, one good note, we got Blake Jarwin back, as I call him, Shannon Jarwin, right? Remember?
Look, Skip, no team should want anything to do with Antonio Brown.
Well, we'll see.
But you know somebody going to talk to themselves. Next year, we're going to be having this conversation at some point. Somebody going to talk themselves into it.
I don't think so. I think there's more likelihood right now than next year. Out of desperation,
Skip,
playoff desperation.
He hurt.
Oh, we'll see. Is he really?
Well, Skip.
I didn't see hurt in the first half against the Jets.
Skip, it'll blow up everything because he said he's hurt and he's going to need surgery. How you hurt, need surgery, and going to play in the playoffs?
You got a chance to come back and haunt the Buccaneers right here, right now. I think he would seize that.
But it'll be a lie. So everything you said was a lie.
Well, and he'd say, I don't care what you say. He's never cared what anybody thought anyway.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Definitely does not care what anyone thinks. We could say that again.
No mercy.
Don't miss your chance to win $100,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Super 6 players have won over $6 million in cash prizes, and there are winners every single week. So scan the QR code, download the app, enter your picks in the NFL season finale contest for your chance to win Terry's money. It is free to play. Best of luck winning some money this weekend. Well, guys, according to the latest report from Chris Haynes, Kawhi Leonard has a, quote, strong possibility to return to play this season after suffering a knee injury in last year's playoffs. Haynes also noted that he has ramped up his workouts recently and is, quote, looking stronger. So, Skip, this is your guy. What are you hearing about Kawhi?
So, Shannon Sharpe, let's start from the start.
Okay.
In that playoff game against Utah last year, Joe Ingles bumped into Kawhi.
It was actually, see, there you go trying to frame it.
To him.
See,
I
there
don't
you
know.
go.
But it didn't look that bad when it happened, and Kawhi did stay in the game, made a couple of free throws, and then took himself out of the game. And the Clippers dismissed it the next day as nothing more than a knee sprain and said he was day-to-day. A very credible source close to Kawhi told me, no, he tore the ACL. Not badly, but it's torn and will require surgery. So I told you 2 days after the fact that no, it's not a sprain. He needs surgery. And they continued all the way through the last 8 games of the year that Kawhi couldn't play to say he's day-to-day with a knee sprain. Well, I turned out to be right about that because then he immediately had the knee surgery, and the Clippers announced that. Maybe a month ago, I told you here on the show that the same source had told me that the Clippers medical staff, which originally didn't quite diagnose it correctly, had decided all the way up to Mr. Ballmer, the owner of the team, that it's probably best if Kawhi just misses this whole year because these ACLs are difficult. As Brady calls it, it's a lifetime injury. And maybe it would be best because obviously basketball is a little harder to play than quarterback in football. Brady did play with an MCL tear, but maybe that they should just wait until next year. But now I'm told that Kawhi has been working out at such a high level that Uncle Dennis, his chief advisor, is starting to say, well, wait a second. Look at the West. Could you guys be maybe the best team in the West? You don't think so. But if again, Paul George has also a torn ligament in the elbow of his shooting arm. Okay?
Correct.
And yet they're going to reevaluate that in a couple of weeks. And Reggie Jackson said yesterday he's feeling pretty good. So is it possible that Paul George could come back at 90%?
Right.
And Kawhi could come back at close to 100%? Maybe, because Kawhi is now 31. He'll turn 31 in June, so he's 30. And maybe he's looking at this as, maybe this is a good shot for me. Maybe I could break through this year, because we brought most of our players back that we wanted, and they did re-sign Reggie Jackson, who was a playoff star last year. So he's now thinking strongly, as Chris Haynes reported on TNT, about maybe this would be the year to come back, which I was hoping I kept telling you, if Kawhi can come back, you're going to be in trouble, because that team with Paul George and Kawhi and all the rest would be better than LeBron's team.
But here's the thing, Skip. I would be surprised if he came back. But if he does come back to what? I mean, you're talking about they're not going to be a top. So you're going to get Phoenix, Golden State, maybe Utah in the first round. That's what you're going to get. They're too far.
Utah without Kawhi.
Possibly. But you're assuming that Paul George comes back healthy. Kawhi Leonard, minus Paul George, they're not making any noise in the West. None, zero.
I disagree with that.
Zilch.
I'm sorry.
Zilch.
That
Zilch.
team has firepower to it.
Really?
Ibaka's back. Luke Kennard has become a.
They're looking to package them. I heard they were looking to package them and maybe make a move.
Well, maybe, but they're a loaded basketball team.
The thing is, Skip, is that we've never seen Kawhi rush back, and maybe you're right. Maybe he's feeling good. Maybe the knee feels better than he thought it would feel at this point in time. But how soon is he planning on coming back? Before the All-Star game? After the All-Star game? Because after the All-Star game, what do we have? 6 weeks left in the season?
It would definitely be after. Yeah, it would just be to ramp up for a playoff run.
And do what?
And, well, they're just better than the Lakers, I can tell you that.
Oh, well, that's not saying much.
Okay.
Well, we've established that. The Lakers are not the best in the West, not true contenders in the West as we sit here right now. But that's not saying nothing if you're basing on him coming back to they're better than the Lakers.
Do you remember what happened last year with no Kawhi Leonard? It went to Game 6 at Staples. And do you remember what Chris Paul did in that game?
Did a number on you.
Well, he's never done that in his life.
Did a number.
He had the game of his life.
Right.
He had certainly the last quarter and a half of his life, because late third into the fourth, he went berserk.
I think Phoenix will be better this year than they were last year.
Okay. Well,
I think they got that taste
would be
of
better this year.
Huh?
Clippers would be better.
Clippers are not better. Stop it.
They could beat Phoenix. They could beat Golden State.
Anybody can be beat one time. Can you beat them 4 times?
Well, again, it went to Game 6 last year, and it's nip-tuck until Chris Paul took over.
Well, I mean, think about it. But you went 7 games with Dallas, the Mavericks. So what does that say? Sometimes it's just a matchup. You're not beating them. You're not going. I don't care if he comes back. Doesn't matter. You're not winning this year.
He's
not
the
next year.
difference maker. He was against Dallas. He was for a while against Utah, and then Paul George was. We got playoff P last year. You don't think that did a world of good for his psyche last year?
Yeah, they winning no titles. Clippers are not winning a title.
I don't know.
I know.
I had them last year, and I'd like them even more this year. Yeah.
Hey, you see the way Go played. I wanted to come back and Go gave him that work. You know Go gave him that work last year, remember? That Sunday, and he gave him that work first game opening in the bubble, gave him that work, hit that 3 on him, hit that shot on him, and then D'd him up, made him pass it to playoff P, who shot an air ball. You remember that, right?
I remember playoff P in the opener just last season doing a number.
He did.
You remember in the third quarter, he just took it over.
Took it over.
Oh, God. Oh, Kawhi Leonard, maybe he wants to make a statement, I'm not going to load manage a whole season here.
Hey, it's too late. That's your MO. That's your history. But what he doing, he see what old GOAT doing at 37.
Yep.
He see what a GOAT doing. It's hard, Skip, when you see that man doing what he doing at 37. You hadn't even turned 30 yet, and he can't play like that.
What he's seeing is he's looking at the Lakers like, I got this.
You need to be looking at. You need to be looking at Golden State and Phoenix and Utah. Don't be worried about us.
Well,
we down there with y'all.
Yeah, but what did the New Balance commercial say? Kawhi Town. Maybe it's time for him to take it over.
He ain't got next.
Maybe he have that little keychain swinging in the air.
And you notice they ain't done nothing
crown
since.
on it, right?
We got a championship. Since he came here, we done got us a championship.
Well, okay. Well, maybe he
should go and come back again. We get a nothing.
Who would win if Lakers-Clippers played in the playoffs? Who would win that?
It all depends.
It doesn't depend on anything. You know, and I know
it'd be
Clippers all day
With
and all
or without
night.
Russ?
With Russ.
No.
Yeah.
We will out Russ.
Just give me Kawhi and Paul George, and everybody's going to have problems.
Skip,
fresh Kawhi.
Y'all done gave up too much ground.
Yeah, remember how lethal he was against Dallas? God. Remember that game?
Reggie Jackson saved y'all.
Remember Game 3 at Dallas Friday night?
Remember Marcus Morris hit 5-6 threes? That saved y'all.
I just remember Kawhi as lethal from mid-range as anyone this side of Kevin Durant.
Hey, have you been watching LeBron?
I have, and I've also been watching the 20 and 19 Lakers.
Okay, what are the Clippers?
Well, they don't have either of their two superstars. What do you think the Lakers
They have Paul
would be
George.
without?
Paul George did play some this year.
He played a little bit.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Kawhi does come back. What do you think their record is? They're going to go on some streak where they win 30 of the next 42?
I don't even care. All they want to be is in the tournament.
They're going to be in the play-in tournament.
Okay, well, good.
I hope they see us in the play-in.
Yeah, I hope so, too. That would be great.
Go ahead and knock it out.
Yeah, one game for your life, for your playoff
Give me
life.
Go James.
Yeah,
give me Go
Kawhi
James.
Leonard. Yeah, the old GOAT. Yeah, ain't what he used to be.
Actually, he more.
Huh.
Did you envision a man scoring 28.5 points a game in year 19?
I did not.
Okay, then.
Do I envision this man making a run through the playoffs? I do not.
Hey.
Neither do you. You've said within the last week, I'm not even sure they can make the playoffs.
Yeah, okay.
That's what you said.
Yes, I did.
Okay? I am sure the Clippers will make the playoffs.
I'm not sure of that. I'm not sure of that at all. I just know LeBron James is better than you know who.
All I know is if these teams somehow meet, even in a play-in game, I can't tell
When
you how
y'all
many
reach your
cases.
own building, it's time for y'all to get up out the crib.
Well, we're building one. Yeah.
Either way,
Y'all need to get up out the
You
crib.
guys live in the
big if we
crypt.
got it back.
The crypt.
Is that what we're
It's
saying
aptly
now?
named the crypt.
That's the
Y'all need to get up out of there.
We're not calling it that.
No mercy.
Sunday on Fox, the NFL season finale comes down to this. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers take on the Lions. Then in America's Game of the Week, the 49ers fight for the final NFC playoff spot against the Rams. Check local listings for the matchup in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Well, get this. Former NBA player Al Harrington didn't hold back his thoughts on the differences between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Harrington said players weren't buddy-buddy and would go to war with each other in MJ's era. And meanwhile, he said LeBron has, quote, dominated an era of his little bros. They all his little bros. Shannon, is there any truth to what he's saying?
No. This notion that guys don't compete on the court anymore is overblown. The idea that the players in the 80s and 90s competed harder is overblown. Because the Pistons personally maybe didn't like Jordan, that doesn't mean the entire league didn't like Jordan. So Al wants us to believe that when he went up against Steven Jackson or Matt Barnes, of guys that didn't play, that he knew he didn't play hard. He like, bro, go and get you 40. Let your boy get 35. Is that how it's going, Al? I'm just asking. I don't know.
We're just talking about Jordan.
No, but I'm saying, hold on. So he said, no, guys didn't compete. Guys weren't buddy-buddy. Guys weren't buddy-buddy because they didn't play on AAU teams. They didn't travel. Zion Williams and John Moran was on the same AAU team. So they're supposed to act like now they get in the NBA. We don't even know you, bro. I don't know him. Kendrick Perkins and LeBron played on the same AAU team. So they get to the NBA, they supposed to act like they don't know each other. It's different now because the world, even though it's expanding with people, is getting closer, Skip, because of social media, because people are together.
Yep.
But this notion that everybody hated Michael Jordan is just not true. Maybe the Pistons went out of their way to do things, but I don't think the early Sixers went out of their way to do anything to Jordan because he couldn't beat them. The big three Celtics didn't go out of their way to do anything. The Lakers didn't go out of their way to do anything. This notion that people hated Jordan is just not true. This notion that Jordan had no friends. Jordan didn't golf with anybody. Jordan didn't go to Vegas with anybody. Jordan didn't play cards with anybody. And that's all he did. Man, stop this notion. Every chance people get, they try to belittle LeBron because LeBron's 37 and he's still doing things. And even when they say he's washed up and he can't do this, he's playing longer and being greater than anybody thought that he would. But yeah, bro, if you want to skip, I got no problem. You and I debate this, and we're going to debate this until as long as you and I together. LeBron Jordan. If you want to say Jordan, I'll debate you. But don't try to demean LeBron for what the man has done by saying the competition. There was no Kevin Durant in the 80s and the 90s. There was no Steph Curry's in the 80s and the 90s. There was none of that. So this notion that the players now are softer, they're not. The players now are more skilled than in the 80s and the 90s.
Okay, you're missing the point. This wasn't about everybody hating Jordan. It's about Jordan hating everybody else. And he did have no friends. You can say Barkley for a while was in his.
So who was he golfing with?
Well, name somebody. I mean, who?
He golfed with Skip. He golfed with Danny Ainge.
Okay, that was before a finals game.
Yeah, that was a playoff game.
Well, before a playoff game, right?
Yeah,
that was for big money. That was, you want a piece of me? Let's go play.
Let's kill.
Okay, it was nothing friendly about it. Not that he wasn't civil to Danny Ainge.
I've never heard of. So who golfs with people that they're not friendly with?
Michael Jordan, you want to bet on this? Because that's all he did was bet. It is cold-blooded war.
Skip, I'm not saying that he did.
You play people you want to win money from.
Let me ask you a question.
There's no friendly to it.
Skip, so when you go to the golf club, so you go tee off with people you have no idea. You don't know.
Okay, but that's different. I'm not Michael Jordan. He plays for money.
Skip, just because you get
but he's willing. Remember, the whole book was written about this gambler who used to play for millions of dollars over time against Michael Jordan.
But he's gambling with people that he knows.
But they weren't friends. Okay, no, he's playing for big stakes money against anybody. He's playing with fastest guns in the West. Come on, you think they're going to go have a beer after? No, they are not. No, they're going to pay up.
He only playing, Skip. You can't go say, okay, I want to play you when you don't know what this guy's handicap is. You go play, he go say, I want to play this guy with golf. And this guy's a scratch golfer and he takes $5-6 million. Michael Jordan knew everybody that he was golfing against. He knew.
That's not true.
Skip,
that's not true.
Skip.
He'll do anything against anybody.
Skip.
He is high stakes.
Skip, I get that. I'm not saying that he will not gamble for money, but you better be careful talking about whether it's shooting pool. I've seen guys, guys hustle you out of money because you don't know what they're doing. This guy, all of a sudden, you see him spraying the ball and you're like, hey, bro, you want to play around? Yeah, sure. What you got on it?
You don't think Michael got hustled a few times? I think he did.
Yes.
Because he's gullible that way. Like, he'll try anybody anyway.
Skip, all I'm saying, Skip, so let me ask you a question. Do you think the Big Three Celtics, do you think they hated or liked LeBron?
Big Three Celtics, I don't know. Okay, that's
Kevin Garnett.
Okay, you're sort of overlapping eras.
No, hold on. LeBron played in the era, so we got to include the era that he played in.
Okay, but let's go back to Al Harrington's premise here. He's saying that in Jordan's era, they didn't F with each other. There was no homeboys in the offseason. There was not. He's talking about Jordan. There was no, let's go to the clubs in the summer. Jordan didn't do that. Again, Barkley was sometimes part of his entourage, but trust me, Michael viewed Barkley as a court jester for a while. He just amused Michael.
So because Jordan had the only way so Magic and Isaiah doing things and going on vacation together, and Mark Aguirre and the other guy. So only Jordan got the blueprint. That's the only way that you can win. I wonder if there's only one way you can operate a business. If somebody say, well, if you're doing that wrong, man, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous that somebody says the only way to do anything in sports is the way Michael Jordan did it.
Okay.
Because that's seemingly what Al is saying.
Let's switch to LeBron. LeBron has dominated, said Al Harrington, an era of his little bros. LeBron's notorious for what I always tell you, it's the Godfather. It's keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I've never seen anything like what happened in the 2016 NBA Finals when Draymond Green called very audibly LeBron James the B word during Game 4. Yelled it out, you B.
Okay.
And they go up the court and they get tangled up, and Draymond dares to kick him in the midsection, which Draymond had already done to Steven Adams early in the playoffs. Right. And because of that, Kiki Vandeweghe, then the minister of discipline, said, you're out for Game 5. I suspend you for. I didn't think I'd ever see the day that a pivotal piece of a championship team would get suspended for a Game 5 of the NBA Finals. And I'm thinking, God, also, Draymond called him the B word. Would anybody have ever thought to call Michael Jordan the B word?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they did it.
No.
Yeah, they did.
No.
Yes,
they wouldn't have
they did.
dared to.
Yes, they did.
Because they would have lived to regret it because he would have
So here's the thing, Skip. Okay,
now wait a second. I got to finish.
Okay.
Draymond, did we get to the offseason and I look up and wait a second, Draymond has become LeBron's business partner. It's almost like he bought him off. And the next thing I know, Draymond's on the shop with LeBron, sitting in one of the chairs in the shop like they're best buddies now. You're kidding me.
Oh, because here's the thing. Okay, because if somebody criticizes Michael Jordan or says something negative about Michael Jordan and he's unforgiving and he will cut them out of his life, that makes Michael Jordan a great guy.
He's cold-blooded killer.
Okay, fine, Skip.
He's an assassin.
Skip, that's fine. But that's not the only way to win titles. That's not the only way to win.
That's the way he did, and he was the greatest ever.
Okay, Skip, that's the way he did it.
Okay.
Magic Johnson didn't do that. Magic Johnson is just as successful in business. Junior Bridgman, who wasn't a great basketball player, is just as successful in business.
Okay, but they weren't Michael Jordan.
But see, the thing is, Skip, Michael Jordan doesn't have a patent on winning and how to do it. You got to stop this. Other guys got to stop this notion that if you don't do it like Michael Jordan, it's wrong.
Okay, but how many times do I look up and LeBron has tweeted at an upcoming Ja Morant, rising star?
Give the guy credit.
Okay, but he tweets, I see you, young fella. Like I'm going to take you under my wing here.
No,
you're my little bro. That's how he does business.
This is what LeBron does. LeBron James says, if I'm an open book, if you want to ask me a question about how to navigate the NBA, because very few people, Tiger Woods, when he reached out to the only person that he knew that could possibly understand what he was going through. That was one Michael Jordan. If you come into the NBA and you're a phenom, there's not a whole lot of guys that's navigated the social media age and that's come in with such fanfare as one LeBron James. LeBron James is not like a lot of people. A lot of people get the sauce and won't tell you some of the ingredients. LeBron James said, if you want to know about basketball, I got you. You want to know how to start a production company? I got you. You want to know how to ingratiate yourself with brands? I got you. Skip, there's nothing wrong with that. We should applaud that the man is willing to help those. Yet we condemn him and praise Jordan for holding all that to himself.
Okay, but I've said this 1,000 times on this show. I believe there's some insecurity on LeBron's part operating.
Maybe it's insecurity on Michael Jordan's part.
No, it's the other way.
So why
insecurity on LeBron's part?
Why?
Because he wants to keep these kids under wing. Like, I want you to love me. I want you to respect me. I don't want you to threaten me. I want you to stay right there because I am the king. I want you to treat me like the king.
When Tim Duncan said he wasn't in awe and he had nothing, he's a great player, but that's what it is. So what about that?
Against Jordan?
That's what he said. That's what he said. He said he wasn't the biggest fan of Michael Jordan. Tim Duncan.
That's fine.
Okay,
Tim Duncan had his own dynasty. He almost won more championships than Jordan.
Okay, right? So what is LeBron? Y'all people make it seem like LeBron got one title, like LeBron got one MVP, like LeBron is not going to have 40,000, 10 and 10. I mean, I don't get this. I believe that you can praise Michael Jordan without trying to suppress anything that LeBron James has done.
Okay, but Al asked a great question. What star has LeBron had it with, as in had beef with? Or
why do you got to have beef with a star?
Okay. Is there anybody?
Okay, let me ask you a question.
No.
What star has Peyton Manning had beef with?
I don't care about Peyton Manning. I care about Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Because
I don't care about him.
Because
it's different.
Why do you got to have beef? Why?
What team has LeBron had it with?
So the Big Three Celtics. So the Big Three Celtics.
I don't know. There was no bad blood between them.
There you go now. So Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, they had no bad blood with LeBron. You just said they made him run to Miami.
Well, did they make it all-out war? Did they talk about each other in the press?
So now I
never read any bad.
So now you got to talk about somebody in the press. See, you keep changing the name. You keep changing the argument.
The marriage.
Did the Big Three Celtics had beef with it? Did the NBA dislike
beef with who?
LeBron.
No. I didn't know of any.
No, but okay, let me ask you a question. When he left and went to Miami, Was everybody happy with LeBron?
I mean, the truth was the Big Three Celtics made LeBron quit.
See? But how you make him quit? You ain't got no beef with him. They had no beef with him.
Well, they didn't have beef with him because I don't think they respected him.
They made him quit
Paul
what?
Pierce never respected LeBron.
And guess what happened?
And Paul Pierce has said things publicly about he doesn't have a lot of respect for LeBron.
Okay, that's fine, Skip.
Okay? It's not beef. Beef is 50-50.
Skip.
Like it's bad blood,
okay,
it's war.
But let me ask you a question. Has that stopped LeBron from accomplishing anything?
It's made him 4-6 in the finals.
So what about the regular season? So what about the MVPs? What about all the championships? So what about all the points?
Okay, so what? What's your point?
No, but my point is that because Jordan did it this way, that is the only, in your mind, if Michael Jordan didn't do it, no everybody else, what Kevin Durant's doing, it doesn't matter because Jordan didn't do it that way.
Okay.
This guy didn't do it that way. And that's a foolish way to think.
Okay, here's the bottom line to this that I've said from the very start on this show and the other show. Michael Jordan was the coldest-blooded killer I've ever seen as a basketball player. LeBron is one of the nicest guys who's ever come along as a superstar to a fault. He's a nice guy. He wants to be everybody's friend, and he wants everybody to like him.
But Skip, how's that a fault?
That's not a way to dominate your era.
Skip, so he didn't dominate his era.
He's 4-6 in the finals.
So LeBron, so I
lost 6 finals.
Okay, Skip, I get that. So LeBron James did not dominate his era.
Not in the finals. Well, he didn't. He lost 6. Jordan went 6-0.
So because Jordan went 6-0, Jordan is the end-all, be-all.
Yes. Yes, thank you. You finally came to the correct conclusion.
So let me ask you a question. So why is he better than Bill Russell?
We do different eras.
No different era. It was a different era. Yep. LeBron James was a different era. So let's do different eras.
Well,
That's not what you do.
I believe LeBron dominated his era more than Bill Russell did.
No. Bill Russell dominated his era more than Michael Jordan did.
No.
How do you get 11 championships in 12 years if you don't dominate an era?
Competition much more.
Oh, not competition. See, you keep changing the argument.
No, I'm not changing. So, you never had that argument.
Let me ask you a question. What guy did Michael Jordan go against that's Kevin Durant equivalent?
Karl Malone?
Okay,
get out of my way.
Stop it. Get out of my way. Look at the points.
We're moving on. No mercy. Well, it didn't take long for Jalen Hurts to show he can lead a team in his first full year starting. The Philly QB has already led the Eagles to a playoff berth and has gotten praise for his leadership ability. So, Shannon, is Hurts the future at quarterback for the Eagles?
I don't believe you could win a championship with a quarterback that's a better runner than throw the football. I believe the quarterback that can throw the football, that also has the ability to run. Now, he doesn't need to be Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, or Jalen Hurts with his leg skip, but I believe you need to be more proficient at throwing the football, and I just don't see Jalen Hurts as that. He's 27th in completion percentage, Skip. He's only ahead of, guess who he's ahead of? Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and 3 rookies. He's 27th in passing yards. 28th in passing yards. He's only ahead of 3 rookies. We've seen talented guys that can run the football, not ultimately be able to lead a team to a championship. I believe in the playoffs, it comes down to making that 1 or 2 throws through the course of a game.
It does.
That gets you to that next level. I agree. And I haven't seen it, and I'm not convinced. I saw him in the national championship game get benched at a half because he couldn't make said throws, and Tua comes in off the bench and lead them to the national championship game. I just don't believe I think you can go to the playoffs with him. But ultimately, Skip, this is about trying to find a guy that can get you to the championship, get you to the promised land. You need a Moses. I don't believe he's a Moses.
Tua or Jalen Hurts, who you want right here, right now? Give me Jalen Hurts any day or night in pro football.
But I'm saying we're trying to win a championship.
Okay, trying to win a championship. This is funny. Your favorite website, your Bible, Pro Football Focus, right here, right now, ranks Jalen Hurts, overall grade for the year, the 11th best quarterback in pro football. That's actually slightly ahead of Patrick Mahomes and Matthew Stafford. Interesting.
I mean, anybody that watched these guys play, do you think Jalen Hurts has played better this year than Mahomes or Stafford?
Would you believe the Eagles, who I predicted would be the biggest threat to the Cowboys in the East? I told you that, and you laughed at me.
What threat? Skip, the Cowboys have already won the division 3 weeks ago.
The Eagles just made the playoffs out of the NFC East, and it's because of Jalen Hurts. And I tweeted the day he got drafted, I said he will ultimately be more valuable than Carson Wentz ever was to this franchise because of leadership intangibles and clutch big game, big moment play making. That's what he does.
Skip, I don't believe in today's game the intangibles is what will win you a championship. Maybe early on when you first started covering the game and I was playing the game, you could have a quarterback with the intangibles and not the great arm or the skill set, and you could win because you could have an outstanding defense around it. But in today's game, you better have a guy that has the tangibles, the measurables, the things that you can see.
Interesting, because I read a blog from a Eagles insider yesterday who concluded, I don't know how it's possible to watch what this team has achieved and what this team has become and decide, nah, Jalen's the wrong guy. He's the right guy. He's the answer. He's the future, because he's the leader and the winner that this team did not have in Carson Wentz.
I'm not saying that he can't win, but at the end of the day, are you just trying to win division titles or are you trying to win a Super Bowl?
Well, obviously, he needs pieces around him, but he inspires in ways Carson Wentz could never inspire those around him to be the best they can be. Everybody around him. What did I tell you from the start? He is Tebow-esque in that the stats will always lie to you about Jalen Hurts. What's he up to now? He's got 16-9, 16 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Oh, come on.
You're not winning no Super Bowl with that,
Wait a second. Oh, he's rushed for 784 yards. Oh, wait a second. He scored 10 rushing touchdowns. Every time he touches the ball and runs with it, it's 5.6 yards per carry. That will work.
But do you believe
over time?
You can't, Skip. It's just like now a quarterback in college can't run your way to a national championship. You can't run your way to a Super Bowl. Your quarterback better be able to throw the ball consistently, accurately, and decisively.
And that's your problem with Lamar Jackson, correct?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely, 1,000%.
And yet Lamar won an MVP.
Okay, Skip, I'm not saying that you can. At the end of the day, yes, the MVP is nice, but I think fans are more concerned with winning a championship than an MVP. They don't hang banners for MVPs. They don't hang banners for those. They don't hang, some teams do, but they want to drop that banner on a Thursday night that says we are the 56, 57, 58, whatever we're up to now, Super Bowl champ.
Okay. What did I used to say about Tebow? He's just a gamer. He's a baller. In the last 5 minutes of the games through that year that they ran away and won the division title, coming from 1-4 to start, Tebow ranked number 1 in QBR over the last 5 minutes of those games. Jalen has that going for him, and Tebow's leadership sometimes took a hit because he wore his religion so much on his sleeve that it was a little off-putting for some in his locker room.
Well, he threw the football like he had sleeves on.
Okay, well, no, he threw the football in the last 5 minutes like nobody else did.
Well, he should have. After he done stuck it up for 55 minutes, the use you could do is clean up after you mess up.
They won the division. They beat Ben Roethlisberger in a home playoff
What'd
game.
your mom say? Get up from the table. Hey, pick that mess up, son. You messed it up. Clean it up. Okay, he done stuck up the joint, and now all of a sudden he wants somebody to perfume the house down? No, you messed it up. Clean it up.
I actually had to cook for myself. But
man, I know. I don't know how you ate that mess.
Huh?
I know I wouldn't eat that mess.
I had a lot of chicken pot pies in my childhood. I microwaved them. Oh, no, I didn't. I put them in the oven.
I was going to say, you had no microwave back then.
No, we ovened them.
You know, the first
45 minutes.
The first microwave, the Jetson had the first microwave and treadmill.
That was in my.
Yeah, I remember the Jetson, George Jetson. George, Jane, Judy, Elroy.
Dude, you know them. Wow. You're older than I am. I don't know how you do that.
Man, you know good well the cartoons came on every Saturday. There wasn't no cartoons every day like it is now. They done ruined cartoons by making them come on every day. Cartoons should only come on Saturday from 8 to 12.
Even just when, now we used to look forward to watching shows during the week.
Now you just turn on TV and watch everything.
Whenever you want to watch it.
No mercy.
The Lakers end their 5-game homestand this week with the Hawks tonight and the Grizzlies on Sunday. As the 6th seed, the Lakers are chasing down the 4-seed Grizzlies, who LA has already dropped 2 of their previous 3 meetings to the season. So, Shannon, do the Lakers even the season series on Sunday night?
It's all about James Brown, the big payback tonight.
Really?
Yeah, big payback tonight. LeBron gonna keep it going. He had 30
Sunday night, right?
Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday night can play Hawks tonight. He'll keep it going, Skip. Malik Monk has been unbelievable since he's entered the starting lineup, averaging over 20 points a game, shooting 46% from 3. Carmelo Anthony is a different 3-point shooter at home as opposed to on the road. 46% at home, 30% on the road. He was 1 for 8 last game against Memphis. They keep it going.
You got this, because you've been telling me you got something from Memphis, right?
Put a case on it.
Put a case on it, says Shannon Sharpe?
Put a case on it.
By the way, you're favored by 1.5 points. Do I get the 1.5 points?
Get it.
You got thank
Get
you.
it.
We'll make it 2 cases.
2 cases.
Okay, 2 cases. I want to thank you for that because I remind you, you did win the 3rd game of the year at what used to be Staples against these Memphis Grizzlies. But wait a second. Carmelo went nuts in that game and made 6 of 8 threes and scored 28 points.
Might do it again tonight.
And guess what? There was no Dillon Brooks in that game. And then you went to Memphis and you lost by 13 and there was no Ja. And you still lost by 13. Mm-hmm. Then you came back home and you lost by 5. LeBron had a monster game, 37, 13, and 7. There's no Dillon Brooks. Guess what? Dillon Brooks, I'm pretty sure, is going to play on Sunday.
Okay.
And Desmond Bane's been out a little bit, but I think he's going to play on Sunday. And Ja is, not only is he back, he is skydiving, man. He is superstarring, right? Mm-hmm. I think this is just way too much to handle. So if you want to do 3 cases, I'd do 3.
I don't care if you got Dillon Brooks, Mel Brooks, it doesn't matter. 3 cases, we got you.
Mel Brooks would turn you into the comedy that you are.
Yeah,
right?
we had 3 cases. 3 cases, we got you. And I'm going to give you the 1.5.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm. You asked for
take
this.
That. John Morant, are you watching? He watches Undisputed religiously.
And you know,
I love John Morant.
And guess who else watches?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who watches. Go James up early in the morning and getting that workout in. He watches.
The nicest guy in the NBA.
Don't worry, he's still giving work.
Yeah, he tries to keep Ja close to him. Little fella, you know, you're my guy. Ja, go after him.
Can I ask you a question?
Put it on him.
Look at James Bond. James Bond in a tuxedo.
Yeah.
And to get Martini, shaken, not stirred. Killing folk. Get the nice girl.
I'm an MF problem for the Sacramento Kings, but not the Memphis Grizzlies.
You gonna find out, see? I don't even know why you just handed me 3 cases. You just feel it. I mean, it's the new year. I guess you feeling hospitable. Huh? You just handed me 3 cases.
You want to make it 4?
You make it, okay, make it light on yourself, Skip.
Make it 4.
I want 4. You know what? Let's make it even nice. 5. 5 cases.
I don't want to do 5 cases on some game against Memphis.
No, you just hype
Okay, 5.
Ja, you hear this, Ja? Are you watching Ja?
Are you watching Ja?
Dillon Brooks.
What a day.
Do a number on the King's head.
No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We got this at the Crip.com. Crip.com, the new home of the Lakers, baby.
Monday. Have a great weekend. We'll see who actually has a better one. Undisputed will be back Monday. Hurt is on now. Enjoy.